Second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
The time for holiday hosting is upon us, so make your second bathroom second to none with HomeDepot.com's best savings of the season. Right now, enjoy up to 40% off select online bath. Find the latest on-trend styles of vanities, faucets, showers, tubs, toilets, and more. All at prices that will let your budget relax right along with you and your beautifully renovated bath. Get up to 40% off select online bath plus free delivery at the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see HomeDepot.com/delivery for details.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screams. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig.
It's good!
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
And he scored!
Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort studio, here's Josh Hennig.
Well, I hope everyone is recovered after Sunday's game yesterday. Josh Hennig back from a Phillies full weekend. And, of course, some football as well here in the Ocean Casino Resort studios on 97.3 ESPN. We'll dig deeper into the football weekend. Andy McNamara is going to join me coming up in less than 20 minutes from now. As Andy, had to have him on this week because Andy covers the Browns full time, and that's the Eagles' next opponent. So we'll get Andy's thoughts after the Browns got completely dismantled by Washington yesterday. I mean, that was embarrassing. So we'll get a Browns perspective as they come out of that. You know, every NFC East team won yesterday. The Giants went to Seattle and won. Washington dominated Cleveland at home. And then the Cowboys won at 1 o'clock in the morning. I think I was the only person in America who was not a Cowboys or Steelers fan who was awake for it. So we'll get into all that and more this hour, but we got to start with the Phillies. As you heard here on 97.3 ESPN, it was the man who has the most game-winning hits this season finishing it off yesterday, as heard here on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City.
Swing and a line drive, base hit left field. That's headed to the wall, and headed home is Trey Turner, and the Phillies have won game 2. Nick Castellanos with the RBI knock, and the Phillies walk it off, and this series is even at a game apiece.
And I think that when we walk out of that game, my biggest question coming out of the game yesterday had to be, is Nick Castellanos the key to this championship run? Because the man has been batting over 281 since the All-Star break. The guy is averaging an RBI almost every other game since the All-Star break. The man was the only hitter, basically, for the team coming out of the All-Star break when Harper and Schwarber and Bohm and Real Muto and Turner, everybody was slumping, but it was Mr. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, as I like to call him, became Mr. Consistent. And I just am starting to wonder, can you win a championship if Nick Castellanos is your most consistent hitter? I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just asking the question because, again, he is somebody who went absolutely cold in the NLCS last year. He was somebody who completely fell apart last year when you needed him. And for all the people who are like, Castellanos needs his son in the stands to hit, Castellanos had his son in the stands for the NLCS last year, and he did absolutely nothing. So his son has nothing to do with his success, for to disappoint some of you out there. I think the key to his success is what Castellanos said after the game yesterday when he was telling the media, when I start getting stressed, I bleep and focus harder. So I think the issue with Castellanos is it's him, it's over anything else. I think that it's not anything else. I don't think it's a slump buster. I don't think it's whether home versus away. I think it just comes down to when Castellanos wants it more, he does it. And it reminds me of, and I'm not saying they're the same category, but, if you were to take Castellanos and compare him to another sport, he reminds me of, like, for example, you use basketball, right? Like a Stephon Marbury, a guy who's like stupid talented, but when he focuses, he's amazing. Or if I was to go to like a hockey analogy, because full disclosure, Kevin Durso, our Flyers insider from 97.3 ESPN.com, stopped by the studio today. There is a part of Castellanos that reminds me of, I don't even know if this is the best analogy, honestly, but like a Evander Kane, where it's like when he wants to be great, he's on. When he doesn't care, you are done, like kind of thing. So like, I think that's who Castellanos is. I generally think that this team will go as far this year as Castellanos takes them. Now, I know the Harper home run was the catalyst. The Harper home run, it woke up the team. It woke up the arena. The crowd went nuts from there on out. And I remember I spoke to Matt Gelb from The Athletic 2 months ago when the Phillies were in the depths of their horrible slump coming out of July into August. And he straight up said, whoever hits a home run for this team is going to be the guy who wakes them out of their struggles. And I think you have seen it throughout this year. You go back to when Schwarber had that hot August, right? You look at last night with Harper. You look at actually go back to even, when Trey Turner hit that home run in late June when they were struggling coming back from London and he woke them up. This team seems to feed off of home runs. So I'm not necessarily surprised that Harper hit that home run and woke everyone up, but I'm starting to look at this team and I look at Castellanos straight dead in the eye and I say, you might be the reason why we make it. And even Rob Thompson was like, I don't even know how Castellanos does it, but he does it well for this team.
I don't know how he's done it and played 162 games because he's just a workhorse. And I'm so happy for him because I know that there's been a lot of talk about Chase and this and that, but he can hit. I mean, he can hit. And that was a big night for him tonight. The home run to tie it up and then the base hit to win it. He's just been grinding all year.
And that's a good shot by Rob Thompson. People like me who have complained about, Nick Castellanos swing and miss, reaching into the plate. And part of it is, yes, in the most literal sense, I get it. He has a very long swing. He does not have a direct path to the plate. He's a guy who loops his swing around. But I think for the Phillies, yesterday might have been the game that solidified their best chance to win this series. Because the way they lost on Saturday, it was so deflating. It was such a slap in the face to the fans where it felt like, great, you took a week off and you showed up and Wheeler gives you the game of his life and the hitters could barely do anything. And, I was out this weekend. Okay. I went out for both games because I wanted to be around the people. I wanted to get the experience of the raw emotion of fans. So, I ran into Jeff from Ocean City on Saturday at yesterday's in Marmora. On Sunday, I was down at Yuri's Waterfront Restaurant in Wildwood, and I got to hear people go through the emotions of the game. And if I take anything away from all of this, it's a comment that I heard 2 weeks ago. And that is, I genuinely don't think athletes sometimes understand how passionate this fan base is. I think that if you don't understand how much the Philly fan cares about Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers, the 4-for-4 fans may be some of the most passionate fans on planet Earth. And I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but I do think the almost like lackadaisical, we'll try to do better tomorrow from the Phillies players. The Eagles coaches saying, I got to do a better job coaching. A guy like Jalen Hurts saying, I got to play better. This one's on me. A John Tortorella game after a Flyers game telling the media, I don't know what to tell you. A guy like Nick Nurse, putting his hand on his face, leaning to the side and saying, we just didn't play well today. Like those attitudes, I think is a problem because that's what frustrates the fans. Because when I'm sitting out this weekend on Saturday and Sunday watching the Phillies game, the emotional roller coaster that the fans go through during the course of a game, I don't think the players always appreciate that. But I think that at least they understand its value a moment like yesterday, where after Harper hit that home run, the crowd went from indifferent to completely engaged. And I think the crowd was just as important for them winning the game yesterday as it was anything else. Over on the text board at 609-403-0973, your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. We will get more into the NFL coming up in about 9 minutes from now with Andy McNamara here on Game Night with me, Josh Hennig, live in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios on 97.3 ESPN. George from Summers Point chimes in. Hey, Josh, you are right about what Castellanos means to the Phillies. I think one of the key plays was his diving catch to save the Phillies bullpen late innings last night. What is maddening about him is his inconsistency, but in fact, he does fit in with a lot of the other teammates. That's George from Summers Point. George, you're right about the catch. We don't always value the catch by Castellanos because he makes that play very often. I know he's not a Gold Glove winning outfielder. All right. I get it. But dagnabbit, the guy seems to always make an important catch when you need him to. Brandon Marsh will miss about 5 balls in center field this year, but Castellanos sometimes manages to make that awkward, weird sliding catch where he's kind of lean to his left side, sliding on his hip, dropping the glove down. And you as a fan are sitting there like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, he made it. Yeah, it's kind of like that kind of it's kind of like a basketball coach, right? Like if you're a high school basketball coach and you see your player chuck up a 3, no. Yeah, he made it in. That's how you feel about Castellanos sliding for the ball. So you're totally right, George Summers Point. And he does fit in with the inconsistency of this team. And, I made a comment on Twitter yesterday, and I'll stand by this. You look at the Phillies before that Harper home run. They went through basically the equivalent of 9 innings, scoring 2 runs. There is almost $1 billion invested in this lineup. You have to have moments like yesterday to prove your worth. You have to hit home runs. You have to have game-winning base hits. You have to steal bases like Trey Turner was to justify your salary. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares that you had a bad day at the office when you're making that much money. I know it's not fair, but it's the reality. And I think that the sooner the athletes understand that, the easier it is for them to process the situation. Let's get Steve from Ventnor before we hit the break here at 609-403-0973 on the text board. Steve from Ventnor chimes in and says, Josh, Hayes and Wilson mash lefties. Why not start Hayes in center field, Wilson in left, then let Rojas come in as a defensive replacement? I'd also start Sosa at second, save Marsh and stop for those high leverage right-handers late in the game. That's an interesting strategy for 2 reasons. One, because we talked about this last week. Outside of Peterson, there's nobody left-handed in the Mets bullpen. Nobody. There's no lefties. Like the Phillies got like 200 left-handers. The Mets got none. So that strategy actually does make some sense to be like, look, we got Stott, we got Marsh coming off the bench. Now, it's hard to sit Stott, though, after the game he had yesterday. It's really hard to do it. I would have to look deeper at his numbers against Manaea to really decipher that. But my only problem with playing Hayes in center field is that I feel like Hayes is no better than putting Marsh out there. So, I'm a little uncomfortable with the idea of putting a guy out there who hasn't barely played out there. I understand we're going with Steven Ventnor. I like the idea, but I would still start Rojas in center field. I think his defense in the postseason is way more valuable than him coming in late in games. But I do like your idea of Marsh and Stott coming off the bench, because when you got all these right-handers coming out of the Mets bullpen, it's a fair strategy to say, look, we need you guys for later in the game when Manaea isn't in the game. We'll check back on the text board a little bit later this hour, 609-403-0973, and your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. Coming up next, Andy McNamara joins me to recap what was a crazy week in the NFL and our first look at Eagles-Browns, which you can hear right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. Mel Reese, Mike Quick calling all the action this Sunday. Coverage begins at noon following the locker room with Billy Schweim here on 97.3 ESPN.
This is Kevin Harlan from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. We'll have great matchups all season long on the road to the playoffs and Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Join Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner and me for one of the NFL's great traditions, Monday Night Football on Westwood One.
Brought to you by Ace Hardware Home Services, heating, cooling, and plumbing. The Helpful team is now making house calls in South Jersey. Visit AceHardwareHomeservices.com to book today.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bet, and see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Warning. The following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Wrap up your workday with the all-new Chickies and Pete's Happy Hour with unbeatable specials weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Enjoy half-price orders of Chickies Meaty and Tender Wings, one of our tasty and delicious pizzas, or an order of mouth-watering hot, cold, or fried shrimp. Plus $3 domestic bottled beers, $5 Tito's, and $6 seltzers. It's the all-new Happy Hour, weekdays 4 to 6 p.m., only at Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Now, for a limited time, it's buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Buy one, get one free, and enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab meat. Pair it with one of our handcrafted cocktails like the Stoli Vanilla Creamsicle or the Bourbon Peach Sweet Tea. Top it off with Chickie and Pete's world famous crab fries. Buy one, get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply only at Chickies and Pete's.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your sunroof is closed first before driving through the car wash.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no. Wait, whoa.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. Phillies with a 7-6 victory in Game 2 Sunday against the Mets, and they even up the series at 1. Now it heads to New York for Game 3 on Tuesday night. It'll be Sean Manaea getting the start for the Mets. Aaron Nola will go for the Phillies. Nick Castellanos, a walk-off RBI single that won it for Philadelphia. Mark Vientos had 2 home runs for New York. Yankees and Royals Game 2 tonight in the Bronx. Yankees winning 6-5 on Saturday to capture the opening game of the series. Carlos Hernan will get the start for the Yankees. Cole Ragans will go for the Royals. This series will head to Kansas City for Game 3 on Wednesday. NFL, the New York Giants picked up their first win of the season, beating Seattle 29-20. They go to 2-3. Daniel Jones 2 touchdown passes. Jets fell in London to the Minnesota Vikings 23-17. Aaron Rodgers had 2 touchdown passes in the loss. Philadelphia off at bye week. They'll host Cleveland on Sunday. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're 2 minutes, here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. After 5 relatively warm days, temperatures will take a step downward through the rest of the week. It'll start to feel like fall around here, especially early mornings and late nights. Tonight will dip to around 51 degrees. Pinelands, probably in the 40s overnight with mainly clear skies. Mostly sunny and a bit cooler tomorrow overall, high of 70. Sunny and dry and 70 again on Wednesday. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card good for use at Villa Basilari in Buda for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
We'll check back in the text board in just a bit. Josh Hennig here in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. So we're doing a little bit of half and half here with Andy Mack. We're going to look back on NFL Week 5 and our first look at NFL Week 6 because Andy Machter is the host of the Sick Podcast, which means he is a Browns guy, and the Eagles play the Browns this Sunday. I'm sorry to bring up some bad memories for you, Andy. How you doing today?
Oh, Josh, miserable. Miserable. That's why I'm feeling. Oh, you know what? Whatever Eagles fans, I want you to hear me. Whatever Eagles fans are worried about, it may come back later in the year, but you'll be fine week 6. The Browns are the magic elixir to fix what ails you. You're coming off the bye. You're getting the win. 8.5 points. I take the Eagles to win by 10, at least.
I got to tell you, I don't know what was worse yesterday. I don't know if it was Jim Schwartz looking lost, that one camera shot they took to him, or was it when Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson both counted 12 men on the field and Watson just walked off the field and Stefanski's like, "What's wrong?" And they pointed to him and he's like, "Oh, good." He cursed. You can see his lips, on the television. I don't know what was worse. That Browns team looked nothing like the team you and I thought they would be during the season. Before the season.
Yeah, it's totally discombobulated. It's on its head. The offense has no identity. And look, the defense came in overhyped from what expectations were. But let's not forget, they still got an interception, forced 2 fumbles, and recovered a fumble. That's a good day for a defense against a hotshot rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, who, oh boy, watching that guy. He didn't even have anywhere close to his best day. Josh, this dude's the real deal. That guy's winning Rookie of the Year, just like we said before the start of the season. If he stays healthy, you book that right now. But the thing is, it's the offense. Josh, the offense is so inept. The league average for first downs are around on first downs 5.1 to 5.4 yards per first down. The Browns are 3.8. They can't score. They haven't reached 19 points. They can't complete passes. Watson's missing open guys. If he does get into an open guy, they're dropping it. The play calling is terrible. We don't know if it's a Ken Dorsey offense, if it's a Stefanski offense. They have no idea. And one quick quote from Deshaun Watson today, a reporter in Cleveland asked him, hey, so what do you got to fix? And he's like, oh, we got to do what we do well. More of what we do well. And they said, well, what do you do well? And he said, I don't know. Josh, he said, I don't know what he does well. Help. Please.
Well, I think there's two problems in Cleveland, obviously. One is Deshaun Watson. I mean, the guy is just cooked. He's cooked. I don't understand what happened to him, but whatever happened during when he was out of the league, it put him on a bad path because he doesn't know how to play quarterback anymore. And that one throw where he was like rolling to his left and he like flicked it over the top, like he looked like a high school quarterback. Like the arm was so noodle when he threw that. And I was, because what I did yesterday is I said, look, the Phillies don't start till 4:00 anyway. So what am I going to watch? I put the Browns Washington on the one screen and I put Bengals Ravens on the other screen. I had the split screen going. And I was like, I'm good. I'm set. I can watch these two games and I'll be good till the Phillies game starts. And it was like on the Browns Bengals game, goes to overtime, amazing game, absolutely wild. And on the other side, I kept looking over and I'm like, are the Browns going to do anything?
Nope. It's like, what is it that you do here? Offense. And this is what's so baffling. It's because Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time coach of the year, Josh. He didn't get stupid overnight, right? Like he didn't forget how to call plays. Instead, he's being forced to do this other offense with Ken Dorsey, but that's not full. So let Dorsey call plays, but then they're not. It's absolutely baffling.
It's like the scene from Office Space where they say, "What is it you do here?" You know,
I love that.
You know?
Yeah, that's what jumps into my head all the time when the Bobs are interviewing. For those who haven't watched the movie, go see it. It's phenomenal. A young Jennifer Aniston. It's like, what is it that you do here? And it's like, I'm a people person, damn it. That's what I feel the Browns are doing.
That's what Kevin Stefanski says. He's like, what are you doing? I'm a people person.
Like,
I'm keeping the team from rioting.
Barely. Like, the thing is with the Browns as well, and I think it's a bit of cowardice and smart that they're slippery in that they always say everything is a collaboration. So you can never blame anyone because you don't know who's making these decisions.
But they stole that from the Eagles. They stole that from the Eagles. Andrew Berry from the Eagles organization.
Is that what you guys do too?
That's the code word up here.
Oh my gosh. So
there it is. Jeffrey Lurie, when they asked Jeffrey Lurie, why'd you hire Nick Sirianni and Doug Peterson? Well, I want a collaboration between the head coach and the front office. They say it all the time.
We're Philly light.
Yeah, you're Philly light. You're very light.
Like the cream cheese. Like the cream cheese, yeah.
You guys gotta get better at drafting alignment. That's what you gotta do.
Damn right about that. The O lineman is the O line is absolutely toast. As far as injuries and everything, and the running backs can't run. Like Josh, the thing is, the Browns went 1-31 over 2 seasons, including a winless season, and at least in that time, you knew they were tanking, and you had Cody Kessler or the other Deshaun Kaiser, and they were bad. Remember Deshaun Kaiser? Yeah.
Oh, I do. Notre Dame.
He wouldn't look any worse right now. This was supposed to be a team to make a run. You came off of using 4 different quarterbacks who won games last year. Joe Flacco. And the thing that is bothering the fans the most, and myself included, is that decisions have been made, not for the betterment of the team, but for the betterment of Deshaun Watson, for those Ivy League nerds who want to make themselves look smart. They're the dumbest smart people I've ever met. And they have the nerve to be able to say, Deshaun Watson gives you the best chance. You let Joe Flacco go because you didn't want the fans cheering for him and wanting him to come into the game, which they definitely would.
Andy McNamara, host of the Sick Podcast and long-suffering Browns fan, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. Eagles-Browns this Sunday. So what exactly is wrong with the Browns defense? I think that is a question that we are going to have to talk about throughout the week here on 97.3 ESPN, because, as the week progresses, Mike Gill will be doing his, previews of the game, and I'll be doing my previews of the game in between watching the Phillies, obviously.
Of course.
And, it's going to be one of those things where we know who Jim Schwartz is. We saw Jim Schwartz have a really good defense last year, but it's like ever since that playoff game, something has been off. And I can't put my finger on why Myles Garrett went from being the second coming of fill in the blank, I don't know, Bruce Smith or whatever, to now all of a sudden just being like every other pass rusher in football. Like, what happened to the Browns defense, Andy?
For Myles Garrett specifically, I'll stick up for Myles because that dude is battling. He has 4 different lower body injuries, Josh. He has 2 arch feet things, an Achilles and a knee, and the guy battles. Oh, and by the way, he is held on 99% of plays with the referees not calling it. And he still has, I think, 3 sacks on the year. So it's like, okay, but that should be a case where if everyone's paying attention to Myles, should free up everybody else. And that's where the problem goes. Quentin Jefferson has been a ghost, their defensive tackle who came over for the Jets. Zadarius Smith finally got a sack this past week, but it was a bit too late. The tackling is horrendous. And here's one interesting part. And I want to ask you if this was a problem when Jim Schwartz was with Philly. Jim Schwartz admitted, he's like, yeah, we give up the edges sometimes. We're always aggressive towards the quarterback, so teams can get the edge on us. And I was like, they sure can. They sure can take the edges, Jim, because I see it every damn week. They just sweep and go around the edge, and you can't get to the quarterback. Was that an issue in Philly? Was it edge protection? Was that a problem?
Yes and no. I hate to give that kind of answer, but
now it's yes.
So what happened in Philadelphia is that the first year, the Eagles linebacker situation was poor the first year. And the Schwartz philosophy in Philadelphia was, I'm not going to blitz because I got a front that's got Fletcher Cox and all those guys. I want those guys to hunt. And when you have the front 4 hunt, like Schwartz's defense is supposed to do, the idea is the linebackers are supposed to fill the voids, right?
Right.
Well, the problem was in 2016 and in 2020, the linebacker play was just so bad. It didn't matter if you had a Hall of Fame front 4. You know how it works.
Yeah.
You get an offensive line that's just good enough.
Just gives you that second
to get a seal. You got a running back who's half competent. He's going to run through that hole. You saw with Rico Dowdle late last night. Around midnight, he's getting all kinds of rushing yards. And that was with Zach Martin in the locker room getting fluids in the third quarter. And the Steelers, I think we all agree, is a good defense. What happens is if the linebackers don't fill their holes, if they don't play assignment football, whether it's the Steelers defense last night or the Jim Schwartz defense, that's the problem. So I would ask you, Andy, when you look at the Browns linebackers, are they just not good enough?
I would say JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, is sensational. And some of you might have seen a clip where Jane Daniels juked him out of his shoes. He stumbled, tripped over himself. Again, Jane Daniels is amazing. But JOK had an interception and a forced fumble. He is a tremendous linebacker, and he's the quick guy who is sort of spies on those mobile quarterbacks, which is why Jane Daniels had a good day, not a great day. Now you had Jordan Hicks, who's been great, but he was banged up. Outside of JOK, the depth gets thin real quick. And when Hicks is out, that becomes the problem. So, but I would say more so it's on the sloppy tackling. I wouldn't blame the linebackers specifically here. I would say when that edge comes, the Browns defense is expensive and they're getting old and they're getting that half step slow. And then when you have the corners come, they're tackling sloppy. That's always baffled me. You've been playing football since you're 8 years old. How do you not remember to tackle? How do you forget how to tackle? I don't get it, but that's what we're seeing. So it's a whole bunch of the defense can get you to a point to keep you in the games. That's what's happened this whole season outside of this one getting away a little bit. The Browns were within a score. If that offense could have done anything, Josh, the last 2 weeks before this one, the Browns had 3 chances, 3 drives in the fourth quarter in each game to go win it. Deshaun Watson, play calling, and everybody else couldn't do it.
I would also say that, tackling is just bad around the whole league.
I don't get it. Why? You tackle since you're a kid. Wrap them up. What's going on?
Listen, I'll tell you why. And I heard someone explain this the other day. It's the idea that, and I think it was Chuck Pagano was on Pat McAfee's show explaining this. He was explaining that, in today's NFL, people don't actually tackle in practice anymore. So there's actually no practicing of what you need to do on Sunday. There's so many walkthroughs now that guys don't actually get the opportunity to physically. It would be like, if a basketball player didn't practice free throws at all during the week and then was asked to go to the line 4 or 5 times. Yep. I think that's the problem, is that these teams are so like, well, we don't want to get hurt in practice.
And collectively bargained, right? The players union puts that in.
Well, it's weird because, if you go back and listen to what Ted Karras said on Friday about that whole thing where the players want to keep the reporters out of the locker room so they can get dressed. Basically, the premise, for those who don't know, the NFLPA, I know you know it, but I'll give the audience out there the background. Yeah. So the NFLPA, they want to change the locker room access because the players are claiming that the media is coming in before they're dressed, basically. And that the players either want to delineate that the media comes in when they're completely dressed, or have it so that all the players have to go to the media dais, basically. And that Ted Karras' explanation to the media about this, I mean, this whole thing is like making my head spin having to explain this, but it's the world we live in. What he explained is he actually made an analogy to hockey, where he made the claim that he said, well, in other sports like hockey, he said, we tell the league, the players tell the league what they want, and it's on the league to apply it, basically. And so, the same could be said for the tackling in practice. The players never said they don't want to tackle in practice. They always have said they want less practice time.
Right.
They never said what happens in practice time. And if you were listening, again, if you were one of the people like myself who was not a Cowboys or Steelers fan up past midnight watching that game, Chris Collinsworth mentioned that Mike Tomlin and Andy Reid are 2 of the only coaches who have their players block and tackle in practice anymore. And he said, and you could argue that those are 2 of the most fundamental teams in the league. Of course, that was right before Rico Dowdle broke off a big run. But still, the point is that I think that's part of the problem, is that the Eagles and the Browns and the Rams and the Packers and all these teams, they're so obsessed with, analytics tell us this and that they forget that you can't be an athlete in fill in the blank sport and be like, hey, I'm a professional tennis player, but I'm never going to practice my backhand.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And the analytics is always, people say, I hate analytics. Well, that's dumb to say you hate analytics, because there's always been analytics. Baseball was the first sport that did it going back 100-something years, just called something different. It's when you make the analytics the be-all, end-all, like Philly and the Browns so often do, in the case where it's like, these guys aren't numbers on a spreadsheet. They're not creative characters in Madden where you're plugging in stuff. They have to practice. It's a great point with the not practice tackling. You see that a lot. And guess what? It's to prevent injuries. But what do we see? Still a ton of injuries. The Browns are one of the most injured teams out there. Didn't seem like not playing anybody in the preseason or having less practice and not tackling helped that. It's football. You're going to hit, you're going to get injured. It worked across the sport for the first, however long the league's been around, 100 years plus, 105 years, whatever. Do a little bit. I like the less practices, fine. But when you do it, I'm not saying you do the 2 days people are throwing up, but practice the fundamentals, right? Practice the damn fundamentals, because all we see is guys trying to do highlight shoulder tackles, throwing themselves around like missiles. It's ridiculous.
Andy McNamara, a couple more for you before I let you go. Host of the Sick Podcast at Andy MC81 on the Twitter X platform. All 3 NFC East teams won yesterday.
Yeah.
So what is your takeaway right now on the NFC East? Because Remember, Philly was at home, not playing, while the Cowboys won listen, I was wrong. I thought the Steelers were going to win that game with all the injuries the Cowboys had. Cowboys found a way to win the game, even with Jalen Tolbert injured, catching the touchdown.
Yeah.
Giants, nobody expected them to go on the road to win in Seattle. And then I think people may have thought Washington was going to win, but I don't think anyone thought Washington was going to dominate the way they did. So what is your big picture on the NFC East?
Boy, like Washington is such a fun story because Jaden Daniels is so exciting. But let's not forget their defense is not good still. Like if they go and fill in the blanks this offseason, free agency and draft, and have a great draft and free agency and make that defense, Washington could be a real contender. I think things are going to catch up with the Commanders because we see it. Now, it didn't happen with CJ Stroud last year. Maybe it won't happen with Jaden Daniels. Teams usually figure you out at some point, like with Jordan Love a year ago. You go through a dip, then you see if you can come back. I think the Commanders will come back down to earth, but they're scoring a ton of points. So now we have to look at this thing. We'll take the Giants out. You got a couple wins. Come on. They're still horrendous. So now it's really, I think, instead of being the 2-horse race we thought, you have to put the Commanders in it just because of what they're doing right now and with Jane Daniels. So, Josh, this is fascinating because there's a world where, Philly's going to win this week, but they're not looking great. If they come out of this bye and falter a couple weeks down the road and the Cowboys can tread water, like, could we really be saying the Commanders could win this division? I still think Philly is going to turn it around and do it. I do have confidence in the players. I think the coaches are better. So my pick is still Philly at this time. But it's not crazy at all to say, if we were to say in August, Commanders could win this division, it's like, stop, turn your mic off. That's enough. Now it's not crazy at all. That team can score a lot of points.
I mean, look, teams go from worst to first every year. So,
Sure,
I'm not saying Washington can't win it, but I'm just trying to decipher, I have to pull up all of Washington's schedule, but I've got to assume that there's a team on their schedule that has a good enough coordinator that's going to be like, we see it every year, right? The more tape you put out there, right? Like, and I kind of thought Schwartz was going to be that guy because of his history versus rookie quarterbacks.
Yep.
Well, they couldn't get the job done. Let me pull up Washington's schedule here really quick.
I got it right here as well. And they said the last rookie QB to beat a Jim Schwartz defense was Dak Prescott.
2016, yeah.
You can believe that.
Eagles, I can believe it because I saw that game. Dak was amazing. I think he threw for like 300 yards in that game.
Well, the funny thing is now, you mentioned, is there a coordinator team that could figure out, and remember, every game, there's more tape on Jane Daniels in that offense. Well, you face the Baltimore Ravens, and that defense.
Not happening.
That's what, with that, Washington's not winning, or Ravens aren't going to stop them?
Ravens aren't stopping them. Ravens defense is the defense that looks good on paper, but doesn't actually have, like, listen, Roquan Smith is a stud. Kyle Hamilton is a stud. You're not going to be a dominant defense with two studs. I'm sorry.
They're really missing Patrick Queen. They really are.
Dude, didn't you and I say that before the season?
We said that was one of the most, one of the biggest changes in free agency.
Yep.
So let's see.
We might know Ravens. A few things, you and I.
We got a little bit.
So not Baltimore at all. Not Carolina. They stink.
Yeah.
Don't tell me Chicago's going to do it. Not happening. Maybe the Giants.
Ooh, I don't know. They'll just outscore them.
The Giants have the talent.
But they have Daniel Jones at quarterback.
I'm not saying the offense is going to score anything. I just said they have the talent on defense.
So to grind them out.
It might be like a 17-10 win for Carolina. That's right, for the Washington.
Right. So, like, if you look, then the Steelers, and we know, we just talked about their defense and things fell apart a bit yesterday, but overall, that is a very well-coached team, much to my chagrin, but it is. And then the Eagles. That's November 14th.
That's a Thursday night game. We know that usually teams don't do well on the road on Thursday night, so maybe in that game, I mean, I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket necessarily, but Fangio schemed up well for the Saints.
Yes.
People are trying to say that, well, it was 100 degrees down in Tampa, so that's why they didn't play well in Tampa. I'm not buying that excuse personally, but I mean, listen, at home in Philadelphia, you would think, the defense played well for like the first, 46 minutes of the game versus the Falcons. So,
well, well, exactly. And now, but you look at this, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 6 weeks away. Who the heck, with this season, Josh, who the heck knows what's going to be what by that point? Right?
I mean, the only team I see on that schedule that can beat them is the Steelers up before Philadelphia.
When you look at it just defensively,
well, Baltimore could beat them. Well, Baltimore could outscore them.
But Baltimore could outscore. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like Baltimore you could win in a shootout.
35-30. Take the over.
Yeah. You know what? That'd be a really exciting game to watch.
What is the over? By the way, you and I picked the Ravens Bengals to go over like 6 days before that game.
Yes. You're right.
Let's pull up what the number is for that game. Let me see here. First of all,
did we get our under right for the Cowboys Steelers game?
The under was right.
Oh, we did. Ha! Nice. There we go.
So
yeah, because it was like 43 or something, right?
Let's see here. Ravens, Washington. I'm trying to find that game on the stupid app here I got here.
Let me take a look. See, I got ESPN.com up. Let's see.
I got it here. So it's 52.5.
Woo!
Yeah, but 35-30 still goes over. So
yeah, I was just trying to do the bad math in my head. Yeah, I would take the over right now. I mean, I think that line could go up. That line could go up.
30-24 could goes over.
Yeah, that's quite doable.
All right, that's where's the button? I gotta find the button.
Let's bet on that. And whatever, I'm going to take alternate spread and have the Eagles go win by 14 points. Maybe I might go 17.
Cold lock of the century.
Over 52.5.
Over 52. You played that last week and we hit it on the Cowboys Steelers game.
Well, no, it was the Cowboys Steelers under and the Bengals Ravens over.
Yeah, and the Bengals Ravens over. So we'll do that. We'll take the over on that.
I think those were the only couple of the picks I actually hit this weekend.
You know what I do? I get if I did individual ones, I'd be fine. But I always try to go. I send you the screen pick. I'm like 10-leg parlay, let's go, and then I'll get 7 right and still lose.
Yeah, and I'm always that friend who's the jerk who walks in and poo-poos on the one pick. You know.
Yeah, listen, you just got to be right once. My $2 bet that will pay off $20,000 one day. One day I'll get it.
Well, listen, at this point, it won't pay off anything. It'll just be your kids' college fund, basically.
Yeah, right. Come on, full ride scholarship. I gotta get him throwing a football or something. I don't know.
Kickers and punters, man.
Kickers and punters. Yeah.
Either that or golf or tennis. You gotta find a specialty sport.
That's too expensive. I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for that.
At AndyMC81 on the Twitter X platform, hosting the Sick Podcast, which rumor has it I'll be on there this week.
Live tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing kind of this show on my show and get the Eagles' perspective. We'll throw in some fantasy football, under the wire, waiver wire pickups going into week 6. Whole bunch more bye weeks to contend with. And you know what? We'll throw down, we'll start the parlay party a little early. We'll get some more best bets in there, see if we can win some money.
The Sick Podcast, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Andy, appreciate you jumping on today. I'll be talking to you tomorrow night.
All right. Talk to you soon, buddy. See ya.
Josh Hennig here in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios on 97.3 ESPN FM and a 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Say we'll wrap up the Power Hour on the other side here on 97.3 ESPN. And don't forget tonight, Monday Night Football, Chiefs, Saints. You hear the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. The good news is that game is in a dome, I believe, tonight. So we don't have to worry about a thunder and lightning delay. That lightning and rain was nuts last night in Pittsburgh.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles host the Cleveland Browns in Week 6 of the 2024 season this Sunday.
Hit as he fires the football, and it is intercepted! It is intercepted by Reed Blankenship!
Listen to all the action with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick with pregame coverage starting at noon and kickoff at 1 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles, 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar, Book, and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. That's why our Lowe's Red Vest associates can help with game time decisions. Plus, use in-store mode on the Lowe's app to find what you need. Under pressure at home and want it soon? Order online by 2 p.m. to get it same day. Same day valid on eligible in-stock items and select zip codes only, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Exclusions and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Your luxury BMW experience is closer than you think. Take advantage of exceptional savings at BMW of Atlantic City. Stop in and shop your favorite models, including the new BMW 2 Series, X3, and more. We're sure to have a vehicle that fits your needs. And with Acceleride, purchase your vehicle online and we'll deliver it directly to you. Looking to trade? We'll pay top dollar for your current vehicle. Experience luxury today at BMW of Atlantic City, closer than you think. In Egg Harbor Township, shop our complete inventory online at bmwatlanticcity.com.
Ah, fall, crisp air, colorful leaves, and you're at the office. That's okay. Now you can make work delicious and rake in the deals too with delicious fall savings from EasyCater, the top site for ordering food for meetings from your team's favorite restaurants. Save up to $40 when you order from select restaurants exclusively on EasyCater.com. So get food for your team and save some green. Order now at EasyCater.com. Orders must be placed and received between October 7th and the 18th. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get in zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My check engine light's on?
That could hurt your gas mileage. The AutoZone free Fix Finder service can help find the fix for free.
Get in zone. This whole report for free?
That's right, printed and on your phone for free.
Get in zone. But what if the fix is too tough?
We'll recommend a local shop. Fix Finder, only at AutoZone. Get in zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Step into the heart of Tuckerton at Doyle's Poorhouse, where great food meets a family-friendly atmosphere. Craving a hearty meal or a place to unwind with friends? Doyle's Poorhouse of Tuckerton has it all. Mouth-watering dishes crafted with care and the best events in town. Live music nights and community gatherings. There's always something happening at Doyle's Poorhouse of Tuckerton. Visit them today and experience the warmth of their hospitality. Doyle's Poorhouse of Tuckerton, where every visit feels like coming home. Visit Doyle's Poorhouse of Tuckerton, your new favorite spot for food, fun, and family.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All right, wrapping up the Power Hour. Of course, Monday Night Football is tonight on 97.3 ESPN. 97.3 ESPN mobile app as well for the app. Don't forget, tomorrow there will be no game night the next 2 days because the Phillies will be on at 5 p.m. So Mike Gill and the Sports Bash will end at 5 p.m. We will go right to the Phillies game on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. A couple of thoughts on the game tonight. I don't think the Saints are going to score a lot of points tonight. I think the Chiefs defense is going to slow them down. So I like the under 18.5 on the team total for the Saints. I also like the Xavier Worthy over on the receiving yards prop. I tend to think that this is going to be a game where the Chiefs are going to do just enough to win the game because, again, it is in Kansas City. And let's be realistic, Kansas City rarely loses at Kansas City. I'm Josh Hennig. Have a great night, everybody.
The playoffs continue on ESPN Radio.
Swing and a line drive, base hit, left field. That's headed to the wall.